Demon possession seems so real, don't you think? You simply lose consciousness, and a being from the underworld takes over your body to commit atrocities. What's the first case of possession that comes to your mind? Oh, I imagine they're from books and movies based on real events, right? Well, let me tell you something. This sentence isn't just there to make you tense. No, there's much more behind those words, and I guarantee you that if you look for something, it will find you. The first one you'll hear me telling about is quite similar to the story of Arne Johnson, which inspired that movie The Conjuring 3. Johnson was responsible for the murder of a man in the 80s. However, according to the story, he was possessed by a demon when he committed the crime. But that's a story for another video. Today, let's talk about other cases. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is very important to us. Let's get into the video. Now, you need to know about Michael Taylor, a butcher from the English town of Ossett, who was also allegedly possessed when he killed his own wife. It all happened in the 70s when Michael was in his 30s and met the young Marie Robinson, 21 years old. She was the leader of a religious group and apparently helped Michael with his constant bouts of depression. And part of this help in the butcher's mind was due to the fact that Marie had the ability to exorcise the demons that haunted him. But the problem was that Michael had a wife, Christine, and 5 children. When the relationship between him and Marie got a little, let's say, strange, his wife confronted him about a possible affair with the young woman, and instead of it being just a discussion between husband and wife, Michael physically assaulted Christine. He was forgiven by his wife and the members of the religious congregation, but his behavior didn't change. No, it didn't change. On the contrary, it became even stranger. That's when the local vicar decided to call in some ministers to prepare nothing less than an exorcism. It was believed that Michael was being possessed by several demons, each of them responsible for his actions. On the night of the 5th to the 6th of October, 1974, a priest, an Anglican priest, and a Methodist clergyman began Michael Taylor's exorcism. The church members concluded that there were at least 40 demons in the butcher's body, some related to incest, others to blasphemy, bestiality, lust. Amidst screams in other languages, many of them were expelled from Michael's body. But due to the lengthy process and the exhaustion of the exorcists, the man was eventually released to go home. The problem was that the church representatives felt that at least 3 demons were still inside Michael. The ones of violence, madness, and murder, 3 characteristics that the butcher showed shortly after, as he went home and shortly thereafter brutally murdered his wife. You don't need to know the sordid details. No, you don't need to. The most I'll say is that she was almost decapitated in the attack. Next, Michael was found walking naked down the street, covered in blood. At the trial, he was acquitted by reason of insanity and spent 4 out of 12 years in psychiatric hospitals before being released. Now, the next case, let's say, had an incredibly happier ending than Michael Taylor's case, and for you to know the details, we need to go back to 1882, which was when Anna Ecklund was born. But don't be fooled, this is just a pseudonym, and the girl's real name is not known for sure. Some say she was called Emma Schmidt, others named her Mary, but because she is better known as Anna, that's how I'll call her. The point here is that she faced supposed supernatural problems from a very young age. Born in the American state of Wisconsin, she was raised by a Catholic family and began showing signs of possession when she was still a teenager. Reports say Anna had a repulsion to religious objects, couldn't enter churches, and had disturbing thoughts. But some say all of this was just an invention of the girl's father. After she rejected her own father's sexual advances, he allegedly claimed that those actions had to do with demons. The poor girl was only 14 at the time. It was said that Anna's possession was related to her Aunt Nina. Apparently, besides being Anna's father's lover, she also put spells on the girl's food. To what extent this is true, I don't know. I can't say any of that. What I can say is that Anna's first exorcism session took place in 1912, when she was 30 years old. Theophilus Riesinger was the priest responsible for the ritual, but unfortunately, the records of this first exorcism were lost over time. But I can assume it wasn't definitive, since years later, Anna Ecklund would undergo another considerably larger one. It was the summer of 1928 when your Theophilus Riesinger was called again to exorcise Anna. She was, I think, 46 years old at the time. The ceremony was scheduled to take place at a Franciscan convent in the state of Iowa on August 17th. I'd like to say it had everything to be just another day, but the truth is entirely the opposite. As she headed to the convent, Anna's symptoms worsened considerably. She began to have fits of rage, refused food sprayed with holy water, and made noises as if possessed by something. But the worst was yet to come. On the next day, August 18th, the first of 3 exorcism sessions began, which continued until December 1928. Each one was more frightening than the last. In the first one, from the 18th to the 26th, Anna howled, even levitating from the bed, while the church members expelled the demons. A break was taken, and the sessions resumed on September 13th, ending just a week later on the 20th. Another break, and the work resumed on December 15th, lasting another 8 days ahead. And look, it's no exaggeration to say that Anna was lucky to be alive at that point. And not just because of the exorcisms, but mainly because her body deteriorated significantly during the second half of 1928. Anna refused to eat and vomited constantly. They say her face swelled, and she spoke in several languages she had never encountered before. The girl's presence and the exorcism sessions were so terrifying and exhausting that many nuns requested transfer to other convents. The fact is that at that point in time, both Anna's father and aunt were no longer alive, which led the church members to believe that both had also possessed the girl. On the last day of the exorcism, after ordering the demons to leave in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Anna stopped levitating, screamed the word hell several times, and called for Beelzebub and Judas. But upon waking up, she reportedly returned to speaking in her normal voice and showed signs of being practically cured. As Anna's official records were kept secret, it is not known exactly what her life was like in the following years. The story goes that she had some episodes involving the supernatural, but nothing like in 1928. So Anna Ecklund's story doesn't go without an ending. I would only say that she died in 1941 at the age of 59. I dare not say to what extent this story is true, but I know it's better not to doubt some things in this world. Don't you agree? Demon possessions. Do you believe in them? Have you heard any reports? Leave them in the comments, so we can investigate and make a video about it. I'll say goodbye here, folks. See you later.